Make no mistake about it, we are in for a cosmic storm. But like any other storm, preparedness is the key. And this storm is going to have a miraculous ending. So to help you prepare, here's my 2024 psychic forecast for spring and summer with energy updates and channeled information. For the 2024 psychic forecasts for spring and summer and the energy updates, there's a lot to talk about. Expect anything from earthquakes and landmass divides to huge spikes in human evolution and consciousness awakening. So I've got it all here on my notes, and at the end I've got a couple of pages of automatic writing, important channeled information for us also. So we're going to go into the predictions first. So firstly, did you guys hear about some eclipse coming on April the 8th? Or maybe you're seeing this video after the eclipse. But whatever the case, it's like a laser beam of gravitational energy in a very thin, fine line cutting across the United States. That's going to have an effect both in the energetic frequencies and fields as well as the Earth herself. So that's number one. The first thing that I wanted to talk about is that Spirit was showing me kind of a cross-section of consciousness coming together, different realities and different timelines, kind of merging together. And I know a lot of you that are up on the New Earth, teachers and everything, they talk a lot about the timeline divide and going into 3D and 5D into different timelines. But from what Spirit's showing me, these energies, all these timelines and realities have to come together first. And what happens is we'll all have greater access to higher knowledge and higher wisdom and higher energetic frequencies contained within that knowledge and wisdom. So we start to become more aware and more empowered of the different aspects of ourselves, which is hugely empowering. So with that, there's also higher frequencies that are hitting the earth, higher than we've ever known. And we've been going through processes of upgrades of frequencies for a lot of years right now. So lots of possible ascension symptoms. The body and the nervous system is going to be adjusting. There's going to be light portal activations that are happening more frequently and more stronger. Lots of solar activity. And they were saying peaking from around April the 20th into May. So huge spikes in solar activity that can lead to outages, to blackouts, all that kind of stuff. It may not be that severe, but, again, be aware. This is a cosmic storm. But this is a huge influx of light. That's the main thing. This is a huge influx of cosmic light. It's cosmic awakening. It's a quantum leap of humanity into the next level. The Great Purge is ending and the Great Expansion begins. Next on the agenda is that the Earth responds to these spikes in frequency and wreaks havoc in certain areas. Fires, floods, earthquakes, all that kind of stuff is on the table. Unprecedented weather events, even more so than what we've been happening. Extremes, not just heat. It can be extreme colds, extreme floods, extreme snowstorms. In fact, unusual spring snowstorms show up. Unprecedented heat wave possible, especially in the mid-U.S., middle Europe, China were the three areas, but also Antarctica and Russia and other parts of the world also. So we could see, that, and there's a lot of stuff. I could do a whole long live stream on all the weather events that are coming. Just be prepared for the possibility of extreme weather. So the next thing is surges in spiritual consciousness. Society starts to split. We've been seeing moves towards that. That's going to increase and gain steam, where more people will be off-grid. More people will want to, continue to cultivate their human lives and develop spiritually in the human sense, while others are more taken in by the programming and the darker side of technology and stuff like that. So big spikes in spiritual awakening many will experience. Now, they were also showing me a lot of energy focused on Washington, D.C. So government structures of society take huge hits. Government shutdowns, all that stuff, domestic terrorism and violence, certainly on the table. President or somebody in a high-ranking official may have like a cardiac event, so that's something to keep an eye on. That could be coming up soon. One candidate may bow out of the election. Either Trump or an unknown candidate wins is what they're showing. I mean, again, understand also psychic predictions or forecasts. it's all based on the current timelines. Time is fluid, things can shift. Not everything's going to pan out exactly when or any other psychic says. But the idea is to pick up on the flavor, the energy that's happening. And once you have that, then you can start to feel out the events that's going to cause, right? So whatever the case, lots of twists and surprises in the upcoming election here in the U.S. Leading up to that, we may also see some brief kind of satellite internet disruptions, power disruptions. That could be from the solar storm, but that could also be from terrorism and from the real wars, which is really fought on the cyber battlefields and attacks on technology to, again, harm nations or to create a counterbalance so that people or nations will be more vulnerable. Food or supply shortages are very likely, to some degree, maybe not that extreme, but to keep an eye on that, especially late spring and the summer. There's a lot more to talk about. It don't go anywhere. For example, Spirit's saying they want us to work with our feet. And I guess part of that is grounding, but also meditating on the feet, getting foot massages, keeping the circulation, keeping that connection to Mother Earth strong. Put deep roots down in the earth. Meditate and visualize deep roots. It's a cosmic storm. Around here in the Catskills, where I live, when there's a storm, the white pines with the shallow roots fall, the birches with the deep roots stand. Run your roots deep now. That's important. You're going to be fine, but that's important. Now, moving right along, government officials involved in execution-style murders against protesters or things like that. So, things may be a little bit shocking. Again, let's send some beautiful high prayer energy to avoid some of the violence and the negativity. Again, it's all part of collective consciousness. So let's work with the heart. When we're working with our feet, let's work with our heart also, so that a lot of this stuff can be at least softened, if not mitigated altogether. It's not all bad, by the way, just to put that out there. So next, they're showing mobilizing militaries. New conflicts break out in a swampy, hot area, especially the Chinese or some Oriental military. I was being shown them marching and really being mobilized. Starting to see some stirrings towards a grand world conflict. But I still maintain no World War III. I don't think it's going to get that far. I do know we have higher beings that help us, extraterrestrial guides, ascended masters. Things would have been a lot worse without intervention from higher sources, but they're not allowed to interfere with our evolution. They can step in if we're going to basically destroy the earth and destroy each other, though. So anyway, revolutionary can break out anywhere, especially in the U.S., a revolutionary activity, not a revolutionary war, even though on the heels of the last Pluto return was the Revolutionary War. And that's something to keep an eye on. And also with this eclipse making a buzzsaw, there's a lot of biblical towns and cities that are going to be right in the path of totality, suggesting, again, this eclipse is a huge awakening, a huge veil is being lifted, a new light is shining through. So on that note, Mother Earth, more honored, laws and mandates to protect her, free of political agendas. And that would be a change, because most of it is laden with political agendas. So, there's more groups, there's more conscious people that are stepping forward, and that's helping to create a lot of the changes in the world. Positive changes, too. I'm seeing more people moving towards more indigenous type practices, like here in the U.S., it would be the Native Americans, and their beautiful ways and their beautiful ancestry, and how they're the caretakers and they're the co-creators of Mother Earth and the co-protectors and inhabitants of the planet. At the end, this is a big shift. That's all part of global awakening. We just have to stay in our hearts, stay in our center, stay in the eye of the storm, make a positive difference, try not to react to what's going there. Do your daily spiritual practices. So getting back to space weather for a second, there could be one or more novas or supernovas showing up this spring or summer. Like I said, lots of solar activity, but strange space weather is being shown as a sign of a transformation of our world. So also changes in the economy, valuing and devaluing currency, centralizing currency, digital currency, social credit scores, all this stuff, AI development, robotics, advances in medicine, advances in technology, all this stuff is following the course and spiking during this time. There may be some very surprising new inventions or new conveniences that come out. So anyway, so what else? Upgrading of the internet. So there may be some redoing of some of the aspects of our internet or our global communication grid, as it were. So we may get an upgrade with the global communications warning systems. We could see some mock UFO or some mock invasion energy coming in, some noise about new pathogens. A lot, understand a lot of what we're going to see in the news is really designed to divert our attention. There's still an agenda to try to centralize and control the world. There always has been in our lifetime and centuries behind us. But there's more technology. It's more sophisticated, but it's also people are waking up, and that's the main thing. There's spikes in awakening. And the more people awaken, the less these agendas are going to fly. And that's really the key. Again, the future's fluid. So there's no set outcome, but we do see us moving into that golden age of enlightenment. Spying gets more attention, partly because of the use of AI. We could see the inflation start to slow down and start to trend towards a recession and a flip in the housing market, more towards the summer, I want to say. And more investing in precious metals. Something could go drastically up, maybe silver, because that's been sort of, in the news a little bit, or not in mainstream news. Economy gets very nervous, so, that's another thing to keep an eye on. But, everything's changing. The economy, the way things are set up, are not fair for the average person. Things are going to have to change. And, there may be some challenges or problems, more unemployment, all that stuff, before things level out and start to increase again. This is a change. I don't see an economic disaster going on, but I see a lot of pressures to try to centralize things and to try to get different countries on board with things that may not be good for us as individuals, especially the middle class or under. Also, they're showing around April 30th, this could be a few days before or after, some very major UFO activity, like a major sighting or something like that, or some ET disclosure or things of that, or a major extraterrestrial event. So I think that activity is going to also spike. There's going to be more awareness and more out there about that. Also, disclosures around chemtrails, those things in the sky that are flying below the cirrus level yet leaving cirrus-like trails. Those are the chemtrails. There's ways to discern the chemtrails from the contrails, and contrary to popular belief, contrails can also linger in the sky if conditions are right. But there's ways to tell them apart. Anyway, disclosure around child trafficking. Good. We need that. Disclosures around pandemic mishandling and all the other stuff. So this is like a rising to the surface. It's been a trickle. It's going to start to become a tidal wave. I think by September, we're going to have a lot of information. A lot of people are going to be shocked. And a lot of the conspiracy theories, although some ridiculous and orchestrated to divert attention, some of them are going to be proven, and people are going to be like, OMG. So anyway, stay in the heart, stay in our power. In short, a lot gets revealed. More importantly, the reasons behind these things start to get revealed. And once you understand what's behind them, then you understand what it's all about. And then change can happen once you understand, again, what's behind it. Also, they were saying to watch, changes around land masses, with the floods and rising sea levels. There could be, peninsula turning into islands. Watch the Antarctic ice shelf this spring, I want to say. It's Antarctic fall right now. I've seen penguins on water, and I think that was a sign of a lot of ice melting and maybe some ice shelf collapsing, which can cause tidal waves. So just keep an eye on that. Over in the summer and into the autumn months, that'll switch into the northern hemisphere glaciers. So anyways, the last thing I wanted to say about this is I've seen a lot of strange things washing ashore and a lot of attention to the ocean, a lot of discoveries in the ocean, and new species and weird things that are going to wash up on our shores. Last but certainly not least are your channel messages they got through automatic writing. So it's all on paper. And If you're enjoying this video, please like it. Please share with friends, and let's get this out to more people to help them to prepare also. And if you'd like to step deeper into our community, subscribe to our channel. If you want to step even deeper, I've got an inner core community on Patreon called Spirit Mind Family, where we share things with the community that we don't share anywhere else. So the information is on the pinned comment and the description for you. So here's your message. You are all vessels of sacred and infinite knowledge waiting to be tapped. And now with the eclipse portal activation, you will experience a quantum shift and become vehicles for this knowledge encoded in frequency, which is a gift to all. Currently, many are still closed vessels rather than vehicles to the knowledge. So the knowledge is contained within, but it's secretive, contained beneath the veil of consciousness. But as your transformation commences, dears, you will begin to blend with Source in a most beautiful way as your closed vessels begin to open to divine flow. And then you begin to access the sacred knowledge and sacred flow and open up your connections with all beings. This is your evolution. This is your transformation into higher light. You will still be individuals with personal experiences and consciousness, but you will begin blending more with universal consciousness shared by all beings. That's what this eclipse, this great solar flash will bring for you. A crack in the cosmic fields and an opening to higher levels of perception. In a sense, it's a subtle change you may not know immediately, but you will see the conscious thinking of the individual will no longer be so cut off from the collective. And this is huge. Veil becomes lifted, and a society built upon greed and abuse of power can no longer exist. For with this frequency upgrade and greater awareness of your innate connectivity comes with compassion, and the trends in your leaders will begin to shift also, and your new, more evolved earth shall begin to take shape. Let this cosmic flash work for you. Be present and open, and allow the eclipse shift to upgrade you. Now is the time to hold space, dear ones. Celebrate the reintegration of personal and divine consciousness. And that's what I have for you. So your next video about the psychic forecast up to the year 2028 is right over here for you. And thank you again. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this together as conscious community of the heart. I love you, and I'll see you at the next video.